Hello and welcome back for the second part of this year's Easter tutorial. So in the last one, link in description, I show you how to make these beautiful snowdrops. And in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this lovely cake for Easter. Cracking centrepiece for your Easter table, or to take as a gift if you're going to someone's, or indeed any other events you've got over the bank holiday weekend. So yeah, you'll see how to make the cake and you'll see me make all this mess. That there, if you want to zoom in a little bit, and we can leave that there. This is the moss recipe, professionally presented in my very best handwriting, as you can see. So it's a cake recipe. You cook it in the microwave, you're going to colour it green, and it's going to come out mossy. The additional baking powder makes it puff up, and it's as you can see, it's not like a normal cake recipe. There's no fats in it. So you end up with this sort of puffed up spongy cake, and I mean spongy like sponge as opposed to spongy like cake sponge. Anyway, so let's make a mess. So an egg. Oh, this is not the usual bin that eggs go in. Never mind.
Hang on.
No, it's fine.
I need to go back.
No, it's all right. It was more just that I was like, oh, that's sort of, well, it's an office bin, not the kitchen bin. 3 tablespoons of flour. 1, 2, 3. We want a tablespoon of sugar. I'm going to guess at 1.5 tablespoons of golden syrup. I feel like that's about a tablespoon. That's about 1/2. And then we want 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. If I can get the pot open. See, this is probably ancient baking powder because I don't bake very often anymore. Right, so we just want to mix that all up, which you can do with a
spatula.
Your
spatula.
No, I've got everything. It's all right. Right, that will do because we will do some more mixing as we colour it. I'm trying not to bash and crash too much, Chris, but
I know, but it's fine.
It's probably a bit of a lost cause. Right, I'll plop 1/2 in there, give or take, and I've got 1/2 in here. And then I want my gel colourings. Definitely leaf green because that's going to give us a nice dark mossy colour. I'm going to be quite generous with it, as you can, that's possibly
a bit too generous.
A little bit too over enthusiastic. And then I'll do the other one lighter, which will probably be a mixture of leaf green and olive green, because for all that I want it lighter, I don't want it too bright either. So we will just mix this in. And for all that I'm doing this for moss, the colours work beautifully in cake batter. So if ever you're taking on the slightly tedious challenge that is a rainbow cake, they work a treat for that. Right, that's a nice dark one, and then this one can be a little bit lighter. I've got another spatula. Good old IKEA spatulas. There was a point when they changed the design of them. It was devastating.
Did they bring the old one back?
They did, yeah, which I would imagine is because people complained, because they're just so good. They just absolutely do what they do perfectly. There was no need whatsoever to alter them at all. Sorry, you've got an orchestra that you're going to have to...
That's fine.
Right, and that is some olive green in there. So let's give this a mix and see how we look. Yeah, that would do. That's come up lighter than the other one. So when you are cooking your moss, what I've done in the past is put it in a takeaway Tupperware, you know, those flat rectangular ones you get. But what I want to try today is putting it on some greaseproof paper on a plate so that we get a thinner sheet rather than a deeper wedge. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. So on here it says the takeaway pot for about 2 minutes, but if we're going to do a thinner sheet, Chris, can I give you these to take away before I make a mess of them? Just dump them in the sink. If we're going to do a thinner sheet, then I reckon we'll probably start with a minute. So I don't know, I'm going to make Chris run backwards and forwards to the kitchen with the microwave. So I have a plate. And I've got some greaseproof paper here. And what I'm going to do, or at least, I mean, we will see if this works, right?
It should work, right?
There's no reason why it shouldn't. Actually, I can blob.
A lot of mint sauce.
I don't like mint sauce.
Oh, I love mint sauce.
No.
I haven't had it for ages.
I've never been a fan of mint sauce.
Minty and vinegary.
I don't particularly like roast lamb, even in the
it's been a long time.
before vegetarianism days. I never really liked roast lamb. And one tends not to have mint sauce with anything else. So, right, I'm just going to go for a bit of a swirly whirly pattern so that we get a blend of colours. This is either going to work really nicely or it's going to be a disaster. We will see. So, husband, I reckon
a minute full power.
A minute full power. You can remove those as well for me, please. Thank you. We will see what happens. Right. In the meantime, so this is what will hopefully become the bark. What I did was, oh, hang on, we've got a question. Tina says, the last time she made the moss, it was pretty dry and not nice to eat. Is that because I cooked it too long? It's not particularly nice to eat because it's not a true cake sponge, but you're only ever going to be using little bits and it is edible. So I think of it much the same way as like sugar balls, the nonpareil and stuff like that. And they have another name as well, which has slipped my mind. Sort of edible, but they're not. It's edible decoration as opposed to, you wouldn't necessarily want to sit and eat a whole thing. That being said, it's not awful, so maybe you did cook it for a little bit too long as well. What I did was roughly measured the height of my cake, brownies, whatever it is that you're using. And then that's the microwave. Hang on, should we wait? Quickly, Chris. Dragees, that's the word that was not. Okay. In my brain. So my cake's about 6 centimetres. So all I did was, pencil. So I worked out how long I needed to go all the way around. And I know the height, which as I say was about 6 centimetres. So I drew out a rectangle that was the right sort of length. And then scrunched this up long ways. So my crinkles are all this way because that's what way our bark would go. And then all we're going to do is pour.
It's still quite foamy.
Okay, I'll go have a look in a second.
I'll bring it in the next one.
Pour the chocolate on. Ooh. So this is just, it's a cheap chocolate from Tesco's, it's nothing fancy. Melted it over a bain-marie on the hob, just so that I could melt it low and slow so that it didn't split or do anything weird or whatever. And then you haven't got to worry about tempering it or anything because it's not gone hot enough. Pour some on and then just spread it out to roughly your rectangle. And that, my friends, is what this is, but just bigger. And then I just let it set on the side earlier. Oh yeah, that's fine. So look, you can see
2 minutes.
It's gone. Right, that is really hot, as you can imagine.
Yes.
So could you grab another plate, because that will be a cold plate and we can transfer it and hopefully that will help it cool. But can you see how it's this like rubbery dish sponge texture thing, which will break up and use. And to be fair, I mean, it's a 1 egg recipe. It's hard to use only half an egg. This will be plenty for what we want. Right, so could you take that away? Thank you. You are my runner today. That's going to go to one side to cool down. Don't need the grease-proof paper anymore. And when he comes back in the room, I'm going to politely ask Chris if you could remove these things here and the melted chocolate. You can eat that if you want.
Can eat that.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm hoping is that we can. Mary, thank you. Our lovely friend Julie bought them for us. They're very fun and colourful, and I love them. The plates, that is. A dish sponge does indeed taste tasty, but that's exactly what it feels like. So what I'm hoping here is that I can, with it on the paper, snap this into bits. Oh, look, it's lovely and crinkly on. Can you see? Does that show? It's nice and crinkly on the back because of what we did with the crinkling the paper. That's what I'm trying to say. The easiest way to snap this might actually be if I put that underneath, because then I can snap it on the edge of that without having to touch it too much. Okay, that should do to get us started for our bark. So I've got some chocolate buttercream.
It's going to be worth zooming out a little bit on the camera.
Yeah, probably now it will.
Right, we'll have to do this line on it.
Oh, no, on that. Why?
As in, like, on there. That's as far out.
Oh, no, that's fine. It's only because this is really long. So a little cake, or brownies, or whatever you've gone for. And I've just got some bog standard chocolate buttercream. Full disclosure, until about half an hour ago, if that, this was it was normal. It's just white buttercream that had been in the freezer that I just have reinvigorated and added some cocoa. And we are going to use it as our glue. So, do you know what? Having this on this plate isn't actually going to make it any easier. Hold the line, please. Go all up.
I might switch to the front for this bit as well. Not switch to the front. Easy to see the food.
Yeah, if you wish. Right. transferred it to a ganache plate, which is going to make this easier. It might go back on the plate later for the photos.
I'll zoom in a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, that works. Right, so I'm just going to slap some of this up the sides. This is serving simply as our glue, so I am not going to worry at all about it being terribly neat and tidy. I'm not going to worry about having a side scraper or anything for it. Because as I say, it is just serving as our base for gluing on the chocolate. Yeah, Sandra, it seems weird seeing me work the cake. I mean, I do still on occasion, it's just not...
No, it is weird.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, like, if you think about it, like, actual cake featuring in our videos...
It's very rare.
Very rare. It's happened a few times, but not that many times.
I mean, I suppose I only trot out the real cakes for high days and holidays, by which I mean the endless stream of cousins Chris has that are all getting married at the moment. Oh, and we've got another one, won't we? Like, I imagine our most recent friend to get engaged. I imagine we'll want cake.
Our most recent friend to get engaged. Oh, that one?
That one. I mean, not that any of you guys know it, but it feels weird to be like, oh, you know, so and so. Right, and I'm just whacking a bit on top, and then we'll just go around and, I was going to say I'll go around and neaten up that edge, but actually I don't think it matters one little bit for this. So this, my friends, is the point where this is either going to work or it will be a disaster. We will see. We will pray for the former. God, it's going to be rich as anything when you come to eat it, Bab.
Good.
You got brownies, ganache, buttercream, and solid bits of chocolate. We'll have to save some for George because this is his sort of dessert, isn't it?
I don't eat a great deal of cake because of the celiac stuff, so it is nice when we do have some.
Okay. So just roughly iced to serve as glue, and then I'm hoping that what we'll be able to do is stick some of these on. Could you get me the small sharp knife? Because they're just... Okay. So I just want this to be a bit, there we go, that is a much better height. Right. And actually it doesn't matter if you end up with some varied heights, but we're just cutting the bits up, so we broke them up and I'm just trimming the height down just so they don't stick up too much, so then we can stick them round like little planks, as you can see. And because we've got that chocolate buttercream underneath, any gaps or anything, it's going to show through, but that's fine because it's the right sort of colours. This might be the point where I want to put it back on the plate. It's always a fun game. There we go. It just wants to go in the middle. Told you I'd make a mess.
Because you don't normally.
I mean, I don't know, not when I'm just making flowers and things, thank you.
Yes, you do. That's really nice.
Not in the same way.
Excuse me, I'm running out of space to push things into. It's a free picture frame.
Shush yourself. Right. There we go, and this is now going to slide around, but I don't know where there's a bit of thing on the thing. There's a thing on the thing. It's so heavy. For such a small thing, it's so heavy, yeah. Oh, that bit's come up a bit short, but actually that won't matter at all. Very freestyle this, you see.
Mm.
Why do you say it like that?
No.
Do you know what? I think people who have been especially made, special gluten-free things, should stop complaining. do hope, well, I should have enough to go around because I did measure it. And as you can see, it doesn't matter if some of the bits are a little bit taller, a little bit shorter. This funny shaped one, what I can do is pop it on there, and then some of these little bits I can use to fill the gap, and it's just going to end up being a bit more 3D, which is fine. So you can see I've got a big triangle-y gap there, but I think this piece, what I'll do, a more civilised person could have some buttercream in a piping bag for this. There you go. Extra bit of buttercream glue to get that to stick. And I'm just going to whack a little extra bit on there as well so that I can overlap that part. Oh, I have the knife to do this. I'm not using the knife. Never mind. Oh well, it's only you and me's going to eat it, eh?
Yeah.
So I could maybe have done with another inch or two of chocolate for bark, but to be honest, everything has to have a front and a back, right?
Yeah.
So this bit where I've sort of patched it together can just be the back. I'm going to break a couple of these bits off here, just for a slightly scraggier edge. And then I might also layer up and stick on a few of these bits. And give me 1 second because I'll turn it around and show you what it is I'm doing. It's always a challenge when I need to see things and therefore you guys can't see things. Oh, thanks, Karen. Actually, to be fair, we have had Karen's bakes and can attest to the yumminess. My goodness, was that last year or was that? It's been the year before, actually.
I think it was at,
Is it the Dickensian night?
Yeah.
Where? We were out with your brother, weren't we?
Yeah, in Martinique.
Really?
I think so.
So many cousins. So all I'm doing here is just sticking on a couple of extra bits so that round the front we've got some extra texture. But I think that I'll probably call it quits at that for now. And we'll start adding some other bits and pieces. Now, Chris, would you be very kind and entertain our guests whilst I go and wash my hands? Because I think I am at the I need to wash my hands stage.
Okay.
Right. So, next step, we want some... Oh, this is cooled down nicely. So do you want to do a swap to this foil, please? There you go. Oh, actually, no. That needs cooking a bit more. Can you go put another 30 seconds in the microwave?
Oh, naughty.
All right, so even spread out flatter, it still wants at least its 2 minutes.
Oh, no, it had to.
All right, a bit more than 2 minutes. Time does go so quickly. Yes, it's... Yeah, I know. I say it every week, don't I? Right. Sorry, horrible noise for you to cut out. Ugh. So I can do all this floury stuff, can't open a packet of biscuits. So what I want to do here is scrape off the creamy bit. We don't want that. How's it look underneath?
Looks like that. Yes.
So what just happened? That's the most boy thing you've done for a while. I said, how does it look underneath it? And he goes, well, it's greaseproof paper. And it's like, no, I mean, how is it? That is, when that's cooled down, that is now cooked on the underneath of the cakey bit. Hapeth. Right, so I'm going to pop my decreamed biscuits in a sandwich bag, and actually I'm going to be good and seal it, because then we can just give them a mush. For any bits that we want really mushed, best way to do it, I'll turn it over, you'll be able to see, with a rolling pin. And I'm not crushing all of it, because I think a couple of slightly larger chunks might be a bad thing. Like I said, if you've got little people about, this will be a good one to do with them, because there's various tasks you can give them.
You need to repeat it, and obviously with her one time there is, and I can...
No, it's fine. Rolling is fine. To be honest, it's even easier if you've got bigger rolling pin. You just roll over the whole thing. I mean, look, it's definitely a job that you could give to kiddies, because I could totally have asked Chris to do this without any worry that it was going to go horribly wrong. So, therefore... Right. See, look, it genuinely looks like compost. More so than cake crumbs on its own, or bourbon biscuits, or whatever. Yeah. Which is good. So, the moss is cooling. Again, I'm going to take it off the plate because it will cool down a bit quicker. Which means that now would probably be a good moment to go back to our usual craft, which is that I just need to tape these up. So I've made plenty of leaves, and the new ones I've made I gave a nice little tape spathe to. There we go. Oh, well, Sandra, you'll have to post a picture of what you and Bella make. I will never forget. Do you know what? He's never going to see this, so it doesn't matter. The time that this was a couple of years ago when George was what, 2, 3, and it was only, I don't know if you were with us, but it was 7:23 in the morning, and we were at my sister's house, and it was declared that Auntie Natalie absolutely had to get up and go and make cakes with George. So there I was in the kitchen at 7:23 making cupcakes with our nephew.
Yeah, I was definitely asleep, I think.
Who also, and I've got a photo and it's hilarious and I shall save it for his 18th birthday, refused to put any clothes on. So we were making cupcakes at 7:23 with a butt-naked toddler parading about the place whilst doing so. Kids are fun. Right, I'm just taping up some extra little spriglets. So this is just what we were doing last week. And of course, because everything is on wires, we can adjust the amount of droop, which I know you will all know what I mean when I say that. Do I have one that's a little bit smaller? Maybe this one will do. So I'm just going to put them into little clusters of sort of 2 or 3, I think. Like so. Okay, and then yes, I've got to say I've got these little cocktail straws. The ones in our Posy Pick packs are clear, but these were what I had in my drawer. Same difference. I'll just cut them in half because cake's not that deep. And then what I shall do is just pop an extra bit of tape wrapped up on these, like so. And actually I don't need that little bit of wire there, because then that way, with that extra tape, they will wedge nicely into that straw, and I've now got something that I can safely just insert straight into the cake. So I shall do that to all of them. And then hopefully we've got all our bits assembled and we can sort of put it together. Sorry. Bum. Hang on, let's fix that. Where's the flour paste? Oh God, it could be anywhere. Gee, do you know what I need to do this week? Is have a bit of a tidy up.
Oh really?
I had a lovely message from one of our students asking a question and saying that she's making one heck of a mess but enjoying it, and I was like, oh, mess is part of the thing. And the fact that for all that it looks relatively tidy and sort of the 8 square feet you can see, the rest of the room's a disaster.
Oh yeah.
Having just broke a petal.
Oh no.
This petal here. I have a little ball of flour paste that I have kneaded well, which I'm just going to stick onto where that, oh, I would if it would come off my finger, there we go. So I've just stuck it on there where that petal came from. And then I'm just going to press the petal on top, and when that dries it'll be absolutely fine, and we'll just make sure that we put this one so that that broken bit is at the back. And that's it to fix it. I'm quite warm, so the flour paste, having just kneaded it, is quite warm. If you need a little bit of water to help that all stick, then of course you can do that, or indeed a bit of glue. But yes, these things happen. There is always a way to fix them. Which side did I break? That side. So I'll put the broken bit facing up so that I don't just break it again. This one looks chunky enough to just go into a straw straight off. And then these were the ones from last week, which for some reason I put these massive long stems on. Who knows why? So again, just that little extra thickness of tape so that it will stay put when shoved into a straw. And that's probably almost enough to get us going with. Again, I'll just trim away what I don't need there. And then, okay, and then these ones I can leave until and if we want them. So, let's see, we have got one, yeah, if you wish. We've got one enormously heavy wasp name, and I think that's the front, as in I like the way it looks there. And now we're going to get to play the game of me trying to show you what I'm doing whilst also trying to see what I'm doing, which means that poor cake is going to spin round, not yet, an awful lot. And I think I probably want to put the flowers in first.
And then arrange around it.
And then arrange the moss and everything around it, yeah. So, because I've got them ready in my straws, I can literally...
I'll flip between this and the overhead.
Stick them in. If you go to the overhead for me, you'll see, so I'm going to keep them more or less in the middle, but we don't need to put them too close together because we will be able to fill in between with, oh, I've got that caught there, hang on, there we are, with the moss and the soil and whatnot. But then equally, as I say, yeah, not too close together, not too far apart, but also close enough together that, far enough apart that you could actually see what they are. This little one could come sit on the edge there. In fact, he can lean over a bit more. Actually, Chris, do you want to come with the handy cam, as we call it, aka Natalie's telephone? and maybe you could...
Yeah, I'll have to give it to you and then...
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, or maybe just go to the front again. Let's see what we can see.
Okay.
No, just try the front, because if we can do that, then that's easy. Does that... Oh, yeah, you can see that well enough, especially if I sit up so you've got a plain background for it.
Well, we can do a close-up. We've literally got it right in my hand.
All right. So I'm just swapping these around so that I can fit an extra one in, and wanting a few of them to be a little bit taller. Actually, those ones at the front can be a bit shorter, so I shall pull the straw out. I just need to trim the straw down a little bit. See, there will be buttercream on everything. That's better. I've also now got buttercream on my phone. Oh, I might have needed that bit.
No, good.
So we're going to leave it at this just for now. Do you want to do me top down? Because we'll sort out our fern. No, not fern. Although ferns would go with this if you wanted to add ferns. Moss. I meant moss. So the trick with this is to pull it apart into sort of layered chunks, and you can nibble away some little bits, and it properly looks like moss. So I'm going to start popping that in. And amongst...
Push the moss up a little bit.
This moss?
Yep. So we can see what you do.
Oh, okay. You're just breaking it up into little bits, basically, which can then be arranged. And just sort of nibble off those edges and that sort of flat baked edge. Because can you see how it's quite holy?
Holy.
Holy. No, not holy. Not holy, but... Or holy, but holy.
Full of holes.
Full of holes. Actually, I think I want some of these darker bits. Let's see if we can find some darker bits. There we go. Could you, if you go in the cutlery drawer, in the bit where the teaspoons are, can you get me the little tiny mini spoon?
The little mustard spoon?
Yeah. Please. Oh yeah, Tina, I can't wait to see that cake, because yeah, it's sort of this but on a grander scale of woodlandiness, isn't it?
This one?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. And it's completely up to you, of course, how much or how little moss you do. I think I'm at, so we can see there, it's coming together quite nicely. I'm going to start adding some, go top down again, some soil. So, and of course you can have some soil on some of the green to break it up, like so. You could also, if you wanted to, go for some sugar and or desiccated coconut if you wanted some snow for your snowdrops. Do you want some snow for your snowdrops?
Nope.
Okay, but that's an option there if you wanted to. I think that we probably do want to have a little bit of extra foliage in there. So I've got one sprig of snowdrops left. I might just leave them out of it for now. Like I said, I ended up making a lot. I'm not really sure what I thought it is that I was doing, but anyhow, ended up with a lot. Somewhere, some green tape. Somewhere in this vicinity. There's some green tape. Now it could have disappeared itself under anything. That's under the phone. There we go. Told you. Yeah, so I just think I want a few extra leaves because they're quite leafy at the bottom. And I've got some leaves left, so I shall simply tape those together into a couple of little clusters. And what have I got? I can do a 3 and a 4.
Just going to switch to the front.
Okay.
Can I see?
Oh, sorry.
Too much going on.
Yeah, there's just a lot of things.
So these are just your leftover leafy bits?
Well, or rather some extra leaves that I did so that I knew I'd have enough to have a few extra sprigs of leaves to go in. Which again, I'll pop into, just I've taped it up, pop into a straw, arrange these into a nice thing, and then I think I just sort of want them, in fact, if you look from the front there, sorry, now that you've done that, this one here, which is a little taller and sticking out, is lovely, but he doesn't actually have any leaves. So I'm going to add some in just beside him. That's it. And I'm just going to use the leaves to just fill it out a little bit. And actually I've got 4 left, but I think I'm going to do 2 and 2 so that I can use them to fill stuff out slightly more. Oh, I've got all thumbs.
Hmm? Is you okay?
Yeah, why?
You're taking a lot of thought.
Oh no, it's because you got.
We've got the front camera, we can see it.
I know, it's because I am that meme of the person whose face has subtitles. Yes. Right, they can go in there, and actually I think that's probably enough because I like the fact that I've got a couple of spaces where there aren't any bits. But if you want to give me the top down again, so I've just got some teeny tiny bits of moss that I can sprinkle around a little bit. I can add some more Oreos, and like your Oreos go quite far actually when you turn them into soil, because it was only 2 that I did this to. Which was lucky, seeing as somebody bought them and then ate half of them before.
After I had checked that you had enough.
Excuse me, you ate them before I'd even got back in the house.
I ate 2.
Well, it could have
2
been
packets.
It could have been essential.
And then I deliberately didn't eat any more.
So I think I might just plop some of this onto all of the shell. It's just I've usually tidied up by the time we turn the cameras on.
You just generally don't see it.
Actually, I could do with another Oreo crushing up.
Really?
Yes. Right, so what I can do now is pop some, I can pipe on some buttercream. All right. Actually, do you want to come and hold the handy cam?
Yeah. I'll just show you this bit.
Because all I'm doing is sticking a little bit of moss up and down the front of the cake, as it were. Let the boy bash now. Have you changed the...
No, I haven't. Why is it so out of focus?
I don't know, you set it up. See, the thing is that with Chris is awesomely heavy-handed a lot of the time. So you say let the boy bash the biscuits. What would happen is he'd bash it so hard that he'd break the bag and then the crumbs would just be everywhere. That's about right?
Yeah.
What I'm doing is, I'll tell you what, I'll stand up and I'll do one from the front like this. So piping on a little bit of buttercream, and then,
why is it so out of focus?
Don't know, just sticking on some of this. Oh, I've got a nice little hole just there where I can put some. And so on with that, and then we will put some more soil. I think I'll come and just pop a little bit more green. If I'm honest, I would probably have liked, oh, there's some here darker green to be just a little bit darker. Yes, Mary, you could totally dust up the bark if you wanted to add a little bit more variation and whatnot to it. And of course, I've just done a few bits of moss at the front here. You can go all the way around. And then whatever it is you've got it on, we really don't have anything else, do we?
I've got it now.
Oh, okay. We can put... And the thing that's great for this, actually, I love this little spoon, little salt or mustard spoons, just like teeny tiny teaspoons. And of course we can have a little bit more moss on there. If it will stick up, it's because I'm sticky. We love the mess. I do not love the mess, Michelle, I assure you. But I think, but for sake of, right, stay there just a second. I reckon
That's about it, yeah.
that is about it. And of course we can play. Oh look, I think did this one have a spade, or have I squashed the spade? I think I squashed the spade. I just like saying the word spade. Yeah, we can arrange them a bit, but it's you know, fun. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to be off now to tidy up. You'll find the instructions for the snowdrops in part 1, remember, and don't forget we've done written instructions as well as the video, which you can find in the link below. If you need any supplies, any wires, colours, things like that, have a look on our website, immaculateconfections.co.uk, and we will see you very soon indeed for our next cakey tutorial.